Hello Tigers, and welcome to the TMNtv Newscast for Wednesday, September 5th, 2018. Stay tuned for the latest news at Fort Hays State University and around the nation. I am your news anchor, Jenna Hawley, and Haley White will be along later with sports. But first, here's what's making news in Tigerland. The Fort Hays football team kicked off the season August 30th with a tough contest against Central Missouri at Lewis Field Stadium. The top 25 matchup had nearly 6,000 people in the stands to watch FHSU rally for a 20-16 victory over the Mules. Prior to that, hundreds prepared for the game by tailgating in the parking lot. It was one of the largest crowds the Tigers have seen for a home opener in some time. Fort Hays students got an opportunity recently to get suited up to put their best foot forward. On August 26th, several students took part in an event called Suit Up at JCPenney in Hays. The event gave students an opportunity to buy professional attire at drastically reduced prices. One of our TMN reporters was at the event and filmed this report.
This past Sunday, August 26th, Fort Hays State University's Career Services teamed up with JCPenney to host an event called Suit Up from 6 to 9 p.m. This event gave students the opportunity to purchase business clothing for the upcoming Career Internship Day or any other professional event for 40% off its marked price. JCPenney provided the opportunity to receive free measurements to help them find the correct size of business clothing, along with free giveaways that included items such as FHSU Career Services t-shirts, notepads, and chocolate bars, as well as Starbucks and Domino's gift cards. The first Career Internship Day hosted by FHSU's Career Services will be held on Wednesday, September 12th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Memorial Union. Students will have the opportunity to research their majors of interest, talk to potential employers about internships and practicums, or even talk to potential employers who are hiring full-time employees after graduation. Until next time, this is Cheyenne Figgy with Tiger Media Network saying, Go Tigers!
The JCPenney event also helps many Tigers prepare for the FHSU Career Readiness Week next week. The week of activities ranges from a Tailored for Tigers open house on Sunday and an etiquette dinner on Monday. Tuesday features a morning full of experts talking about networking, personal branding, building relationships, and more in the Memorial Union. Many speakers will focus on the best way to prepare yourself for potential employers. Wednesday features a career readiness conference, a study abroad fair, and a career and internship fair. Find more information on the event on the FHSU website. The city of Manhattan was hit by heavy rains early Monday and caused severe flooding in the western part of the city. The Riley County Police Facebook page said officials were notified early in the morning that Wildcat Creek was rising rapidly after the area saw nearly 9 inches of rain. Nearly 300 people were displaced by the flooding, and 2 emergency shelters were established. Roads were blocked off, and the Manhattan Fire Department estimated it rescued more than 150 people and more than 20 pets. No fatalities or serious injuries were reported, though. While portions of Kansas were dealing with flooding and heavy rains, the southeast region of the U.S. was dealing with Tropical Storm Gordon this week. The storm formed Monday near Key Largo and hit the South Florida coast with high winds and heavy rains before moving into the Gulf of Mexico. The storm became stronger as it moved into the Gulf and made landfall Tuesday night alongside the Mississippi Gulf Coast. The storm system is expected to bring heavy rain through the south through Thursday and continue on a slight northwest track, taking it all the way up into Missouri, bringing with it heavy rain and storms. A survivor of a duck boat accident that killed 17 has filed a federal lawsuit saying the 1940s era amphibious boats were not up to modern safety standards. Tia Coleman was able to survive the July 19th attack at Table Rock Lake, but lost her husband and children. The boat was carrying 31 people when it succumbed to high winds and waves from the storm. Coleman, along with a nephew, were the only 2 people and her family aboard the boat to survive. The lawsuit is separate from others already filed, claiming the business failed to heed needed safety measures. Unrest continues outside, with inside confirmation hearings continue to the Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Capitol Police arrested nearly 70 protesters Tuesday on the first day of the confirmation hearing. Those arrested were charged with disorderly conduct. The protesters yelled at lawmakers during the proceedings. Many arrested were women representing the Women's March and Popular Democracy Action. The protesters fear confirmation of Kavanaugh to the High Court will be a blow to women's rights to an abortion. A watchdog group slammed FEMA for its response to a hurricane that hit Puerto Rico, killing thousands and cutting power to even more last year. According to the Tribune News Service, the U.S. Government Accountability Offices said FEMA struggled with a record year for disasters on the mainland and Puerto Rico. It said the agency failed to adequately house victims, distribute financial aid in a timely fashion, and didn't do enough to prevent fraud. Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico in September and left widespread devastation on the island country. Tribune News Service is reporting the parents of a Penn State student who died after a booze-fueled fraternity party in 2017 have reached a settlement on their claims. The settlement includes a plan designed to make Greek life safer at the fraternity's more than 100 chapters throughout the U.S. The settlement also includes a monetary payment, but neither the terms nor the amount were released. Tim Pizzada died after falling down a flight of stairs at the Beta Theta Phi Pi fraternity. Prosecutors allege Pizzada was forced to drink large amounts of alcohol as a part of a hazing ritual. Nearly 20 fraternity members have been charged with hazing and other offenses. 3 already have pled guilty. Those are the stories making headlines in the world of news this week. After we return from this short break, Haley will be here with your sports update.
I think there's a perception out there that web and mobile application development is this field where you sit behind a computer all day and code. And that's not it at all, right? And there's even a perception out there that geek is bad. But I think students should embrace their inner geek. We don't code all day. We look at issues, we look at problems, and try to figure out the pieces of the puzzle and how to put them together to build things.
I was able to learn JavaScript, HTML, CSS, PHP, just kind of the whole 9 yards with that. So I really enjoyed the full program that they offered here.
Anything that you're interested in, the field of web and mobile application development, there's a value to. There's nothing like what we have in the informatics department. If you choose to take everything in the buffet that we offer, you'll be very well prepared for any type of job opportunity that's out there.
The ranked matchup last week between Fort Hays and Central Missouri left fans at Lewis Field on the edge of their seats. FHSU was able to survive the home opener late with a 20-16 win over Central Missouri on Thursday night. With less than 7 minutes remaining in the game, the Tigers trailed the Mules 16-6. However, the Tigers capitalized on a 37-yard touchdown and an unforced fumble by UCM's quarterback that was recovered at the Tigers' 4-yard line. A 5-yard touchdown pass gave FHSU the lead and didn't leave enough time on the clock for UCM to respond. FHSU travels to St. Joseph, Missouri this week to compete in Missouri Western's home opener on Thursday night with a 7 p.m. kickoff. Wide receiver Lane Bieberly, linebacker Jose Delgado discussed what improvements need to be made from last week in order to secure the first road win of the season during this week's press conference.
Well, they're a good team too, so they've improved a lot since last year. So we're expecting a physical team, teams that come out and get us because we're defending conference champs. So we're expecting that. We can't let up, and we know we're going to have to bring it 10 times harder than we did this last game because we didn't look that physical on film and we were just tired. So I think the way we're practicing this week is definitely going to improve how the game will go.
They got a new D coordinator for their team, so I think they're going to be stronger secondary wise. I think their corners are a lot better personally, just by watching on film. They come up, they're aggressive, they're pretty aggressive. So we just got to be prepared and attack.
The Tiger volleyball team saw some tough competition as well last weekend in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. FHSU went 1-3 at the Augustana Invitational, with the lone win coming against the University of Mary. The Tigers played number 22 Augustana tough, but lost in straight sets, and FHSU also dropped matches to Black Hills State and number 7 Northern State. Fort Hays will compete in the GAC MIAA crossover in Shawnee, Oklahoma on Friday and Saturday. The Tigers will play Southeastern Oklahoma State, East Central, Southern Nazarene, and Northwestern Oklahoma State. FHSU is 5-3 so far this year. The FHSU men's soccer team bolted out of the gates last weekend to start the season with 2 impressive wins. Tigers beat McKendree 2-1 on Friday in Hays, then traveled to Kansas City to upset the number 3 ranked team in the country in Rockhurst.
Yeah, I think when we set the schedule, we know that we want to test ourselves against the top teams in the country, especially in the region, and we've done that the last few years with Rockhurst early in our first couple games, and so we wanted to test ourselves against the best, and we know at the end of the year we want to be playing the top teams in the country, so it's important for us early in the year to see where we're at and see how far we need to get ultimately to be where we want to get to.
FHSU, aided by a hat trick by junior defender Sergio Villalba, beat the Hawks 4-2. Villalba scored only 2 goals all of last season. He was named the MIAA Co-Athlete of the Week after getting the hat trick. Things won't get any easier for Fort Hays this week as they travel to take on number 2 ranked Midwestern State on Thursday in Oklahoma. FHSU jumped to national polls this week at number 15. Chloe Montano began her FHSU career just about the best she could have. The junior scored a hat trick in the women's soccer team's second match this year, boosting FHSU to a 4-1 win over Southwest Minnesota State on Saturday. Montano's performance helped the Tigers rebound from a season-opening loss to Upper Iowa. The women's team is now 1-1 this year and will travel to play number 17 UC Colorado Springs on Friday. The cross-country teams tuned up for the season at the Sand Plum Alumni Open on Saturday. The Tigers competed against alumni in Bethany College. Top 5 men finished at the stripe together, while senior Yesenia Gonzalez led the women's team. The squad's next action will be the Chili Pepper Invitational in Arkansas on September 22nd. Sporting KC cruised through August with 4 wins and didn't allow a single goal. The start of a new month wasn't so kind to Sporting as it lost 3-1 to the Seattle Sounders on Saturday. Diego Rubio opened the scoring for Sporting's early in Saturday's match, but the Sounders rallied back to score the next 3 goals. Sporting will host Orlando at 7:30 p.m. Saturday at Children's Mercy Park. The leader of the USA Gymnastics has resigned after only 9 months on the job. Perry resigned amid the continuing fallout from the Larry Nassar sexual abuse scandal, according to the Tribune News Service. Perry had vowed to rebuild the national governing body, but struggled through public missteps and was accused of focusing too much on the marketing portion of her job. The announcement came Tuesday. No timetable has been set to find a replacement for Perry. That's all we have for this episode. We will return next week for another episode of TMNtv News. In the meantime, to stay up to date on the latest news and information throughout the week, visit tigermedianet.com. Until then, remember, roar Tigers!
Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, take it.
The Tiger Media Network is Fort Hays State University's independent student media organization. It's a student employment opportunity where you can work for either the news side or the sports side. So you can be on live sports production, which produces all of the live sports broadcasts that we do, or you could be on the news side and do news stories covering things on campus. So presidential announcements, Student Government Association. We bring that news to the student community and the Hays community as well.
You don't realize how much Fort Hays State has to offer until you're here.
I mean, it is definitely, this is the land of opportunity here.
I just got back from the MIAA tournament in Kansas City a couple weeks ago where we worked with other production crews including Pitt State and Central Missouri. And it's a great time. I've gone there the last couple years.
For me anyway, I get to do sports, which is what I love. And if live productions is where that's at, this is the perfect place to do it. We have almost everything that you could possibly imagine.
Tiger Media Network allows you the opportunity to take the skills you've learned and put them forward in a real world, real application setting that allows you to flourish and grow as a professional, and that will only help you and benefit you when you graduate and go into the real world workforce.